to the RunRX podcast, where we talk about all things running. As many runners know, it's 90% mental. So join Coach Valerie and Coach Caroline as we go through the mental side of running.
Welcome back to Tough Love Tuesdays. I'm your host, Coach Caroline, and today I want to talk about our words. I've spoken quite a lot about how you think creates how you feel, which creates an action, and then that action creates the result. So the preceding event that happens before your result is basically a thought. But part of that also has to do with your words. A lot of people say your words go out into the universe, come back into your ears, and then they become your habits. That's a very simplified way of putting it. But what I've started noticing with working with Valerie, and this is where we have a lot of synergy, is the words she says matter. When we talk about copy for our messaging, or when we're speaking in the podcast, or even if I'm going to critique someone's running technique, as I learn to actually get more into the running technique itself, and she learns more about mindset, it's really amazing how we come together because the words matter so much. You'll notice she doesn't say things like lean, right? We joked about this in a podcast recently where I talk about leaning into something, like leaning into a thought process or a feeling. And every time I say lean, she wants to say fall, right? We don't say lean because that implies a feeling of I'm going to bend from my waist and move my upper body and my shoulders ahead of my hips. We don't do that when we fall. We fall as a unit. So she doesn't like to use the word lean, right? She'll say the word allow, right? Because allowing feels better than the word fall. Fall can sometimes evoke a feeling of fear. We make sure that we don't use words like land. We don't use words like that something is painful or hard. I giggle to myself every time she goes on live in our membership, or we even work out during the week, and she'll say, "Oh, this'll be fun," or "Oh, I'm excited." And I laugh to myself because I think burpees aren't fun for me. I don't think they're fun, right? But she's phrasing it and she's putting a wrapper around it that set a different expectation than if she were to say, "Ooh, this is going to challenge you," or "Wow, this is going to make you sore tomorrow," right? This is going to really wake up your quads or something like that. She doesn't use words that will evoke a response or a result that could be negative, right? So, what I want you to do this week is not only look at your thoughts, but actually look at the words that you speak. Do you say things like, this is hard? We have a lot of people in our group when they first start out in that first week say words like, I'm not getting it. Well, of course you're not. You're in the first week. This is a 12-week process because of the time it can take to relearn something. So for you to compare yourself to somebody that's been in for 12 weeks, or maybe they've been with us for years, that's not fair to you. So look at the words you say. I'm not good enough. I'm slow. I need to get better at this. How do those make you feel? And I want you to start saying words that have a little bit better feeling to yourself. I'm progressing. I'm excited to start, right? I'm looking forward to progressing in my running. Maybe don't say I feel awkward, or say this is challenging. I try not to use the word this is hard. I use the word challenging, or I use the word this is, what's another word for challenging? I can't think of it because I usually use challenging so much, because challenging evokes more of a feeling of I can do this than the words such as hard or difficult. That evokes more of a stopping feeling. The other thing I want you to realize is those words, those sometimes excuses that we give ourselves, really stop us in our tracks. And that was another thing Valerie and I talked about. Great example. I think I've talked about this before on the podcast, the idea of jumping rope. We'll jump rope in the gym when we're working out. And a couple months back, my immediate verbal response was, I hate jumping rope. Wow, what a way to put up a barrier in front of me, right? What a way to say, this won't work. When really what it was I've never bought a jump rope that was fit to me, that was fit to my height, right? So I would either have a jump rope that was too long, so it would smack the ground and I would trip on it, or it was too short, so I'd have to really work my arms, and it was very difficult for me. So I want you to realize the words we use and how we stop ourselves. We really brace for impact, so to speak. Is if you could see me in my office right now recording this, you'd see me putting my hand up in front of me. It really stops you in your tracks. So look at the words you speak, not just the things you think, and try to adjust them to have a better impact on the results you really want. Try to use words that evoke a feeling of more excitement than fear, or challenge instead of a feeling of dread. Okay. And then we will get back with you next week for Tough Love Tuesdays.
Thank you for joining us on the RunRX podcast. If you'd like to know more, join us at www.runrx.fit. And if you have additional questions that you'd like answered on the podcast, email us at support@runrx.fit.